Hello, how are you? My name is Chris Quinlan from the TV show Melbourne Musos, the drum show. And what I'm doing here is I'm just going to talk about Evans Drumheads a little bit. I have this beautiful PDP concept series, drum set. It's a beautiful little 5-piece. It's not the most expensive drum kit out there, but it's by DW using all the DW technology, so it's got a gorgeous sound. And but what I did to get that gorgeous sound is that when I got the kit home, I changed the factory heads to Evans, And I'd like to take my roving camera here and just show you the Evans heads that I'm using, Now, what I did was, because they're going to get hit, this particular drum kit, you see that I've hit them already a fair bit, I decided to go for the Evans G2 drum heads, for the toms, for the batter heads, there they are there. But here's a little beautiful little perler of a skin, an Evans UV1, a beautiful resilient drum head. As you can see, I've played it already a little bit. And what I've done here is, as soon as I reskinned the kit, it took on a life of its own. It's one of the most beautiful sounds, really. Dense, fat, if you like. For the bass drum head, I've used the EMAD2 series. And if you look through, I've got a ported front head there. Sometimes I like a full front head. But this is live, so the sound guy needs a port to put the microphone in, sort of thing. But for what I'm doing here, these skins brought this drum kit to life in a big way. The factory heads weren't bad. They weren't bad, but these are great. So I'm just going to take you through the sounds of the drum kit. And what I'm using is a set of ProMark SD7s with the mallet on one end, so I can give you a few different sounds from this skin. First of all, I'll do the snare drum without the snares on, so hopefully they're tuned nicely. Chris, note to self. Okay, so there's something there for you, and I'm hoping you're hearing the sound. To me here, it's a dense sound. It's fat, it's got everything you need, and all this sort of business. And one of the things I will also show you by taking off this tom here is never forget about your resonant side. And here I'm using the Evans Level 360 Genera Reso, Genera Resonant Head, this one here. And that's a great little resonant side head. What I've done here is combining the G2 with the Genera Resonance. It just changed the character of the drum set. Never underestimate a good drum head, well tuned, or as tuned as best as you can, So that's just something there I thought I would show you. So one of the things is always make sure that you're taking care of the resonant side as well. It's a big thing. A lot of people spend a lot of time changing their batter heads, okay, but don't forget the resonant side, okay? It's important, it's integral, okay? So that's just a little bit of a note there. I'll just finish off this little clip by playing the snare drum with the snares on. This is with the, I'll grab my little roving camera again, the Evans UV1. And I haven't mentioned the PDP wood hoops. I'm just having a little bit of an experiment. I've taken off the standard hoops that came with the snare drum, and I've put on a set of PDP hoops. And that's a big difference as well. Gives you a almighty rim shot. You can tell there, I've been rim shotting a bit, that kind of thing. So, yeah, there's something there for you. I'll do another little something or other very soon where I'll give you the A and the B, okay? Normal metal hoops and then putting on the PDP hoops. But at the moment, they're the PDP wood hoops that you buy as a pair, both top and bottom. Anyway, here's a little bit of the Evans UV1 head. Now, by the way, this is a little bit ringy and a bit open, not to everyone's tastes, but I'm going to change that in a second. So here we go, have a little bit of a listen to this. I'll take the snares off, actually. That's with it off, now on. Now, what I'll do now is I'll just put my wallet, it's an old studio trick, just on the end there to just muffle it, take away the ping, the snare ping of destiny. There's a bit. Whoop. There's that. I'll put the wallet to one side. What I'll do now is put on an Evans E-ring. Okay, this deadens it even more. Sorry. Oh, yeah. There's something there. So on, take that back off, bring back the ping. I like a bit of ping. The reason being, let me tell you something about pings, okay? What happens with pinging when you have a pingy snare drum? What goes on with that is that when you're actually playing live and you have, say, an already very dry snare drum sound, for that matter, a very dry cymbal sound, if you've got a very heavy ride or something like that. What often happens, this is just something that I've just learnt over the years, is that if you keep your drum kit a little bit live when you're doing sound check in an empty room, what happens is once the room fills up, and you've got, 50, 100, 200, 1,000, however many people you're playing to. Every one of those punters is a form of sound insulation. So the sound you have during sound check is not necessarily going to be the sound you get when you're actually doing the gig. And what I find with cymbals and with drums, I tend to like a live sound and a ringy kind of sound, and if it's too ringy, I can always just put my wallet there or get a little bit of tape or whatever it is, sort of thing, and just put it on the edge, or put it on an E-ring. I mean, one of the greats, Steve Gadd, You see so many clips of him where he's got an E-ring taped to the side, and some tunes that he plays, he'll just bring the E-ring up and just put it over the top, and then he'll flick it off at the end of the tune for the next song. And that's just something to take note as far as just straight up musicianship and professionalism, in the sense that as soon as you put an E-ring on, notice that it may as well be a different snare drum, that kind of thing. If you put your wallet there as a quick stopgap, that's an old favourite, that kind of thing. One of the things about this is that if you have a little bit of a live drum kit, what happens is when the room fills and you're doing the gig, what often happens is it comes back to, just right, sort of thing. Maybe the sound guy can put maybe the sound guy can put a little bit of reverb on things or whatever it is, that's fine. But I mean, more often than not, we're going in and it's us, small PA, sometimes we're not even mic'd up. So we've got to go with what we've got. So one of the things about when you're tuning drums, when you're setting up, when you're choosing skins, when you're doing this kind of thing, always take that into note, If you've got a little bit of a ringy ride rather than a really dry ping ride or something like that, what happens is the same effect. I mean, you can put on a little bit of tape. There's little magnets you can buy now. Mine will have the little magnets that you can actually sort of tune the cymbal, putting a magnet on there and the magnets on the other side, and you can have it dry or a little bit ringy, and you can modify the sound of a ride cymbal. Don't ever forget that with a ride cymbal, the cymbal changes every time you change a stick. If you've got the different kinds of tips or the different kind of weighted stick, whether it's a 5A, a 5B or a 2B. So always remember that as just a bit of a tip. And that's just something I wanted to do over and above this little introduction I'm doing and semi-review of Evans G2 heads, the Evans UV1 head, and down here the Evans EMAD bass drum system, using the small insulation ring rather than the large one there. So that's just something there for you. I thought I'd just talk about that a little bit, plus give you a few little tips about sound, all of that sort of business. I hope you got something out of it. My name's Chris Quinlan. Melbourne Musos, the Drum Show. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.